I love Lokoz boxing.
Lokoz boxing. Oscar de la Hoya versus Vitor Belfort. This is scheduled for September 11th, 2021. And this is actually what once started as a exhibition among the many other exhibitions that are popping in and out recently. Oscar de la Hoya decided to take an extra step and have this turned or converted into a professional boxing match. It is going to be an official match. It is going to be regulated by the California State Athletic Commission. It will take place at the Staples Center. And although it is a real fight and it is an official professional fight, the rounds are only going to be 2-minute rounds, and there will only be a total of 8 rounds that these two are going to throw it down for. There is a catch weight of 180 pounds. We know that Belfort, if you know who he is, he's a MMA, UFC fighter who is really big. He's a lot bigger than De La Hoya naturally. So that's why that catch weight was put in there, so that, Belfort won't come in as an even bigger monster than he looks or is. Normally, he's competed about in the range of 170 to 185 pounds while in the MMA sport. De La Hoya, his comfortable fighting range of weight has been from 154 to 160 pounds. So right away, you can see the difference. Now, that's De La Hoya's comfort zone from when he used to be a professional boxer. It's been about 13 years since De La Hoya has stepped into the ring officially. And that's got to be a huge factor in this. Versus Belfort, Belfort actually just competed in 2018 in a UFC fight. Belfort is a former UFC champ. So this is going to be an interesting fight. It's as close as we're going to get within these exhibitions. And I know that this is no longer an exhibition, but it kind of feels like it. The rounds are for a shorter amount of time. The number of rounds is lesser than we're used to also. And you have a boxer and going against a UFC fighter. So it kind of feels like an exhibition. It has a lot of traits that an exhibition would have. Right away, if you take a look at this headline of, De La Hoya versus Belfort, you're probably thinking, if you've seen Belfort or you know who he is, that this can only end up in De La Hoya being knocked out. But I don't think that is necessarily the case. To be honest, we don't know what Oscar de la Hoya we're going to see up there. We know one thing for sure is that we're going to see an older Oscar de la Hoya. Oscar de la Hoya is 48 years old, while Vitor Belfort is actually 44 years old. So even the age is at Belfort's advantage in this fight. Belfort has the age advantage, he has the size advantage, power advantage. The only advantage that Oscar de la Hoya has is that he's a boxer, and Belfort is not really a boxer. His specialty is in UFC or MMA. With that being said, it doesn't have to happen that Belfort will knock out De La Hoya because of De La Hoya's experience in boxing, which is the only advantage that he frankly has in this fight. If I had to assume, De La Hoya is probably going to try to outbox Vitor and probably try to avoid, exchanging power shots as much as possible. Aside from knowing that we have an older De La Hoya on the ring, we don't know if the disciplined Oscar de la Hoya will show up or if an Oscar de la Hoya that is not taking this fight too serious will be the one to show up instead. We don't know if this is just a quick cash grab for De La Hoya or if he's really into this fight, or if he's really trying to just relive his glory days in the boxing world. If we get a very disciplined De La Hoya who's completely focused on this fight and is determined to do whatever it takes to win, then I think that De La Hoya can successfully outbox Vitor Belfort without taking too much damage and, winning by a unanimous decision. Otherwise, if De La Hoya is just doing this as a cash grab, then I definitely don't think it will turn out good for him whatsoever, and he would end up facing the floor. We really don't know what to expect because it's been such a long time since he's actually fought. So this fight will be a surprise for all of us, I think, to see where he's at this time and age, most of all. I think that this will be better than any other exhibition that has been out there previously, because this is actually De La Hoya turning an exhibition into a regulated official boxing fight. Let me know what y'all think, who you got winning, if you're going to watch the fight. If you like what you hear, hit a thumbs up, subscribe. If not, go ahead and hit a thumbs down. Lokoz Boxing.